What is up, you beauties? My name is BatchatBegins, and today we are taking a look at what is, in my opinion, the most underappreciated Tier 10 heavy in World of Tanks Blitz. That's right, it's the T110E5. The E5, in my opinion, is the jack of all trades but master of none. It has a fantastic rate of fire for heavy tanks and good mobility, but nothing it does excels above the other heavies in its class. Recently, however, I've come up with a new equipment loadout that will make your E5 more consistent in its gun handling and mobility and make it a much more lethal heavy tank. Before we get into that, however, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit that 2K mark by the end of the year, and all your support is appreciated. Now, getting into the equipment, consumables, and provisions that I run. For consumables, I run 2 repair kits and the super speed boost to increase maneuverability. For the provisions, I run double food and 1 fuel to aid in gun handling and traverse. So far, everything has been quite normal, but this is where everything has changed in the past month for me. I've decided to completely change up my equipment list. For equipment, I've decided to stick with gun rammer, gun lane drive, and for the consistent accuracy of the gun, I've gone with refined gun on the 3rd slot. If you're a seasoned E5 player, you're undoubtedly aware that the E5 struggles with consistency in putting shots where you're aiming. With a refined gun, that is no longer a problem. The reason why refined gun works so well is because of the E5's built-in aim time. For a 120mm gun, the E5 has a quite decent aim time without any equipment, meaning that you can effectively use refined gun without suffering a significant penalty to the aim time. This means that in those brawling situations, the E5 can put those shells accurately into the weak points of the enemies without struggling as much as it did before. The second column hasn't been changed this month and goes as follows: defensive system, improved assembly, and toolbox. The third column, however, is where we improve the mobility and the rushing capability of the E5. For the third column, I am using optics, improved control, and high-end consumables. Now, optics is nothing special, but the use of high-end consumables is what really makes the E5 capable of being aggressive where it couldn't before. Now, high-end consumables extends the usage of the E5's unique consumable loadout, which means that you can tailor your E5 to the situation of your choice. Personally, I like to give my E5 the ability to rush into position early game and get out of tricky situations in the mid to late game. With high-end consumables, I am given 20 full seconds of the super speed boost, and that can get the E5 into any position, regardless of the terrain. But it doesn't just affect super speed boost, this also affects that reactive armor that the E5 has. So if you have a platoon of E5s, potentially you could switch out the super speed boost or a repair kit for the reactive armor, meaning that you can not only rush into these situations quite quickly and for a long extended period of time, but you can also use that reactive armor and it lasts for a longer amount of time too, giving the E5 more hit points theoretically in a brawl. Now, you can see in this game, I was able to be aggressive on B, and I was able to defend against an IS-7, easily hitting the weak points of both the IS-7 and the IS-4 during this mid-game engagement, and we're going to go ahead, finish off the IS-4, and move back towards B to recap it and secure our supremacy caps for this team. And because of the E5's unique mobility, seeing as it is, for all intents and purposes, a heavium, we're able to get into these situations even without that speed boost, but the speed boost makes it even more mobile when you do have it, and we are about to get our speed boost back. So I'm going to show you just how effective this speed boost can be. Right now, obviously we want to take care of the 57 heavy if we can, but since we are also down on cap points, I need to be able to get to A. But I also need to be able to present my frontal armor to this 57 heavy, or he is going to be able to shoot me. So we are using the super speed boost to go ahead and back up 10 kilometers faster than we normally would be able to. And this is getting us right up to the cap in a very short amount of time, which means that we are able to go ahead and deal with the 57 from above him and cap the A base, which is going to give us the supremacy advantage on points. And since we have a fairly healthy teammate, this is going to be a rather easy carry. Now, even though I am taking some shots, I am able to easily cap this base, and as soon as this T-57 gets distracted, we are able to go ahead and put an accurate shot into the man, and we're going to easily carry this game despite being down 2 caps and slightly outpositioned. And that is what the mobility buff can give you. Now, if you were able to use reactive armor and the speed boost, you could potentially go ahead and speed boost into the 57, use that reactive armor, and take much less damage than you normally would from a 57's full clip, potentially survive it, and kill off the 57 and win that game just as easily. We were able to do 5.2k damage that game, and we're going to go ahead and show you what this tank can be like in a solo match here on Falls Creek. Now I am playing the E5, I've got the exact same loadout. As you can see, in the ammunition slot, nothing much has changed from last month. I've got AP, I've got a bit of heat to deal with super heavies, and I've got HE to deal with light tanks and lightly armored tank destroyers. Now, we're going to go ahead and push up and save our super speed boost for an aggressive play that we are going to make during the mid game here onto the C cap. As you can see, we are just going ahead and positioning where you normally would in a heavy tank here in one of these bushes on Falls Creek, just trying to see if we can spot out any heavy tanks that are going to make a silly mistake of getting spotted. And that lets us catch out the Maushin, who is making an aggressive play for the C cap alone. And we were able to go ahead and put in a single AP shell into his lower plate through the fencing. And we're not immediately going to rush him. We're going to move a little bit to the left here, and we're going to see if any other tanks get spotted before we make this push onto the Maushin. As you can see, we can see the M103, which is above, trying to get shots in with his gun depression, and the FE183. But we notice one of our teammates in the T110E5 has gone ahead and made this aggressive play. He's also using his super speed boost and reactive armor, meaning that he is the perfect target for the Maushin to focus, and I can get in some shots while he is distracted. I do take a shot from the M103, but I am able to use the Maushin as cover from any tanks that are shooting from the B-cap. We are able to bounce a shot from the 57, and I'd much rather focus the 57 than I would the M103, because the tanks behind me can deal with the M103 and keep him occupied, and I can go ahead and take out a tier 10 clipper. We've already damaged his turret, meaning that he is not going to be able to turn the gun in our direction. I know that he still has one shell left, but we were able to go ahead and take him out with the help of our IS-7. On our right, there's immediately a Conway, and I view that as a bigger threat than the Batchat that is halfway across the map, which has already bounced the side of my turret, so I'm going to go ahead and begin shooting this guy. We easily have more DPM than the Conway with both myself and the IS-7 shooting at him, so I'm going to go ahead, take the shell, and begin piling on the aggression to him and the M103 to remove 2 more tanks from the battle easily. And this is where that consistency of the gun is coming into play. We're easily able to deal with the M103 and the Conway. We aren't missing our shots, and because we are ignoring that Batchat from earlier, he is not putting in as much damage as he could have been. With the Conway and the M103 dealt with, we only have 2 more tanks left. That means we are fully able to use our super speed boost to cross the entire distance from this side of the map to the other side of the map with that 20 seconds of use, and we're immediately able to get ourselves hull down to deal with the Progetto and the Batchat. We are already in a fantastic spot within a couple seconds, and we are able to deal with the Progetto in a pincer situation with our friendly team. As you can see, just trying to make my shot count. I have the accuracy to make it happen if I have the patience to make it work. As you can see, the high-end consumables made our super speed boost highly effective. It let us deal with the Maushin from earlier, and it let us cross that entire gap to pincer the Progetto 65 just a second ago. And with the refined gun, we were able to hit the majority of our shots. So as you can see, I think the E5 is a very potent tank if you're able to run it with these consumables and this equipment loadout. Since we don't know where the Batchat is, we're going to go ahead and cap the A base. He makes himself known there in the corner, so I am maneuvering my armor to where he can't pin it very easily. And we're going to go ahead and put in another shell. Use this berm to hide our lower plate as best we can at the moment. He does sneak in a shell at the very last second, but we outtrade him in return, and he is going to go ahead and be rushed by the remaining tanks on our team. So I can just sit here and provide pressure from the left side while we cap out and provide the maximum amount of pressure on this Batchat possible. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this T110E5 review. I think this tank is absolutely fantastic. I might love myself the Chieftain Mark 6, but I think I found myself a new favorite heavy tank to go along with that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. There'll be more like it coming soon. I have a War Stories video planned for Monday. But I hope you guys will like and subscribe to the channel. All relevant links will be down in the description. My name is BatchatBegins, and I will see you guys in the next one.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you. It's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you. Oh, easier said than done. I thought you were